Welcome back to At the Mic with Michael Schumacher, brought to you by JR's Oasis. And on the line, we have Vermilion Post 1 baseball coach Tom Heisinger. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I really appreciate you having me on, and the kids and I really appreciate you covering our games and streaming those things and giving us a chance to kind of watch ourselves and cover some baseball. So we appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I've been, the last couple of years, it's been fun to get really back into baseball. I was a huge baseball fan growing up, and I tell you, between Legion ball and amateur baseball, it's kind of rekindled it for me. So, no, I love being there. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. And, you guys are getting ready for regions, and you guys, I think, might just be me. As a coach, I know you're seeing things that I don't see, or you see things on the kind of on the underside, but feels like on all levels, you guys are playing the best ball you've played all season. You're winning 4 in a row to close out the regular season. How do you feel about the team right now?
Yeah, we kind of talked all summer about playing our best baseball on July 24th, and the 4-game win streak is nice going to the region tournament. Our record isn't, doesn't open up a whole ton of eyes. 8-10 on the regular season, but these last 4, 5, 6 games we've played some really clean baseball. Our defense has been good, and pitching has been holding teams down and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of our identity, I think. We'll have to win games 3-2 and 4-1 and stuff like that. I don't think we're really a team that's going to go out and score a bunch of runs. So we'll have to win with pitching and defense, and I think that's the way it should be. That's kind of when baseball is at its best. So, yeah, we're feeling good about it. It's going to be really tough. Our region has a lot of good teams. I don't think there's a bad team in our region, so whoever we end up playing, we'll have to be at our very best. But that's what's exciting about the region tournament.
Well, and that's exactly right. It is, you're playing the best ball right now, but yeah, everyone can give you that one game. One of the benefits, because with Legion ball, you obviously have the pitch limit, on a day over a period of time. It really seems like, okay, Jack Moskowitz, kind of the innings eater, he has the most innings on the team, but you guys over the last 2 weeks, it really seems like a number of guys have been able to go out there, and even if it's for 1, 2, or 3 innings, give you some pretty clean pitching performances. I'm thinking, Connor Peterson's done it. Connor Rohrig gave you a perfect inning. Carter Hansen came out the other day, started and did a really nice job. I know Nolan Nygren's gone out there before. Tate Haig. What kind of benefit and flexibility does that give you as a coach to know, okay, we're not just one horse and then, let's cross our fingers. You have a number of guys that you can send out there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. A few years ago when American Legion adopted pitch count, we were kind of against it. We were saying, this is going to make it really tough, and it's hard to win games on pitch count and win a region tournament and stuff like that. But it's really benefited us. I mean, now you don't have a choice. You have to have some pitchers ready to go. So, Hayden Christopherson has been, great for us this summer. He's, still just a young kid, but
I knew I was missing somebody. Dang it.
Yeah. But no, he's pitched great for us. And then a kid like Connor Peterson, who, growing up, he wasn't on the mound a whole lot, but really he's turned into our long reliever and kind of closer guy, and we throw him out there in tough situations. And, yeah, Moskowitz, he'll do his thing, and we're expecting, 6, 7 innings every time he's on the mound. And then a kid like Carter Hansen, who doesn't pitch a whole lot, but we threw him out there the other night, and he just threw strikes. I don't think he walked anybody, and that's, really the name of the game. If you can throw strikes, a lot of times hitters will get themselves out. So the pitch count thing is great, I think. It forces us to kind of play our hand and get kids on the mound that, maybe wouldn't be there a few years ago. Tate Haig's another guy that is tough for a catcher to be a pitcher also, but he had kind of a tough outing against Dakota Valley and then bounced back a few days later against, I think it was T, and had a great night there too. So, yeah, we feel good about our pitching. We just, hopefully we can keep it going.
Well, and that's exactly right. And, you talked about Carter throwing strikes. And what happens when you throw strikes is that ball, they're going to get a hold of some of them. And that just kind of leads us to the next thing is your defense. It feels like, and Carter Hansen's another great example, seeing the evolution of his defense at third base from the beginning of spring baseball during the school year to the way he's fielding that position now. I think it's been tremendous. And all of a sudden you look at every defensive position. When you have, if you have Jack at first and Trey at second, Connor at short, and Carter at third, you have a really solid defensive lineup on your infield, and that's before we even talk about the speed and the stuff you have in the outfield.
Yeah, we feel like those infielders are, some of our better athletes, and a lot of them can play a couple different positions. I've been really impressed with Hayden Christopherson. We throw him at third base once in a while, and then we also throw him out in the outfield, and he's made a ton of plays for us. And, Moskowitz, I think, is known more as a pitcher, but he's really developed into a good defensive first baseman. And, Trey Hansen, he's fun to watch, a long, lanky second baseman. He looks more like an outfielder, but he can cover a lot of ground, and he's really athletic and can make some plays look easy. So with him and Connor Peterson has really come around as a sure-handed shortstop. So, yeah, that's kind of our identity, I guess, is we're going to have to play some defense and take away some hits here and there and just limit the base runners as much as we can. So, our defense, I would say, has really come around.
Well, it really has. And you mentioned Hayden Christopherson, and, he plays a solid outfield. I think you guys have 5 really solid outfielders. I mean, Mikey Robe in center field, just the speed out there allows him to get to a lot. When Nolan Nygren's out there, he's another one that can play outfield, infield. Hayden Christopherson, Connor Rohrig, and Carson Preister. It doesn't feel like there's really a step down at all when you're putting any one of those guys out there at a time.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's kind of one of those things where if you can play defense, we can find a spot for you, and we hope the offense kind of takes care of itself. But playing defense is kind of the name of the game for us. So, yeah, even kids like Carson Preister, he doesn't get a ton of time out there, but he's really come around, especially from this spring. He's more aggressive and trusting himself and trying to make plays when he can. So that helps out. And like you said, Nolan Nygren playing a couple different positions for us. He's kind of new to the outfield thing, but we had a great attitude about it, and we asked him to move out there, and he's done well. And then, yeah, Mikey Rowe, I guess in my opinion, he's one of the better defensive center fielders in the region. He can cover a lot of ground and has no fear going after fly balls and stuff like that. He'll try to run anything down. So he's good out there, and Connor Rohrig can be really solid and making some good plays. And, yeah, so we're pretty comfortable with those guys in the outfield as well.
Well, and you should. And then, kind of the last position, the position that I think people overlook the most until a mistake is made is catcher. And Tate Haig is your primary catcher. And not only does he seem to field a good job at catcher behind the plate, but he has an arm. He's made some throws that I thought the runner got a good jump, and I'm thinking, oh, man, they're at second. All of a sudden, this throw is down there. It's exactly where it needs to be, and the guy's out. I mean, to your pitchers, what kind of comfort does that give them, knowing that Tate's back there, he's a steady hand, and you know what, if a guy does get a jump, that there's a good chance that arm's going to rectify that?
Yeah, he's definitely kind of a weapon back there. He's it kind of is nice if he can throw a guy out early in the game, first or second inning, and then it kind of slows down the other team. They're not as comfortable stealing bases, and they're not looking as much to steal some bases. So if he can throw a guy out, which he's proven that he definitely can, that just helps us out, because now the threat of base stealing is kind of gone. And he also does a really good job of working with pitchers and framing pitches and stealing strikes back there as much as he can. So yeah, he's really improved, kind of embraced that tough guy catcher mode that you have to have, and he's come a long way with that as well.
Well, he really has. He really has. And so, we're getting ready for regions. You guys will await the winner of T and Lennox. Like you said, there really doesn't seem to be a weak link in this region. but of those first two opponents, T and Lennox, you've battled them both. Lennox once in a game that went down to the wire. T, I think you've split with them. What do you look at when you face a team like that? I mean, it's more just about how you guys are going out there on the field, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of we got the benefit of the first round bye, so we'll have to play a team that already played. But sometimes that can hurt you too. If they played really well earlier in the day and they got a little bit of momentum, and we're going in there a little bit cold. So both T and Lennox, man, we've had some dog fights with them the last couple of years, and even earlier this summer, Lennox game, I think we went, whatever it was, 10 innings or something like that with them, and we split with T, 2 dog fight games there as well. So we'll have our hands full, but we'll have our hands full with any team we play in the region tournament. But that's what's fun about it. It should be tough, and it should be exciting, and it's the most exciting time of year. So, yeah, looking into that tournament, it should be a lot of fun.
Well, I think it will be, too. Now, there's one player that I wanted to talk about. He's a senior this year. He's looking to go into coaching. I think he's helping coach some of the younger kids. I see him out there helping you with field work after games. Connor Rohrig, as we near the end of his career with Post 1 baseball, what has he meant to the program?
Oh, man. I love that kid. He's kind of grew up in our program, and he's been around. He's one of the kids I remember being, 8 or 9 years old when I first kind of started coaching here, and he's just a coach's dream. He's a leader vocally, and he leads by example, and he'll help me out whenever I send him a text about helping out with field work or working with a younger group of kids. And I kind of joke with him whenever he's done playing. He's young enough to come back next year, but we don't know for sure. And whenever he's done playing, I tell him he doesn't have a choice. He's going to be coaching Vermilion baseball no matter where he's living and all that kind of stuff. So, I love that kid, and we'll be sad when he's finally done, but hopefully he's not done for a while.
Well, and I did not realize that he, I guess my head goes to senior graduating, but yeah, he could be that in that age range. All right, excellent. Well, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see Connor back out there next year. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, I hope so. He's what we call a super senior, but you never know. Once you go to college for a year, and sometimes your thoughts change and your attitude changes about certain stuff, and so we're expecting him to be back next summer, but you never know. A lot can change.
Well, exactly. All right. Well, Coach, how many years have you been coaching the team?
This is my 9th year.
All right. And what are some of the changes you've seen in Legion baseball since you've started? Have there been anything really big, or has it just been is it kind of the same game that you started almost a decade ago?
Well, I guess when I first started, we played in the region tournament. We played 9-inning games. And there wasn't pitch count. It was by innings. So sometimes, a pitcher could go out there and pitch all 9 innings, and he'd have like 150 pitches or whatever. And then I don't think that was good for kids. So I'm glad that we, changed it to 7-inning games and went on with a pitch count and stuff like that. But I guess other than that, there hasn't really been a ton of change. There's a few more teams that we play now, and just kind of growing up with it. And when I first started, I was, 23, 24 years old, so just kind of a young punk kid. And now I'm getting a little bit older, so I'm seeing, more kids grow up and go through the program. Like when I first started, they were, 5 and 6 years old, and now they're, getting up there. Some of the players that we have on the team now, I taught them in 3rd grade, and so it's just really kind of cool to see these kids grow up, being around them when they're 7 years old, and now they're 17 and talking about going to college and stuff. It's just a lot of memories with these kids, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, that is great. And you mentioned one last thing that I wanted to touch on is you teach 3rd grade at Jolly, correct?
Correct.
All right.
3rd grade.
And I saw that you have some stuff on Amazon, like a wish list to help fill the classroom. How can people help with that? Where do they go exactly?
Well, I got to give credit to my beautiful wife, Jazz. She kind of set that whole thing up. she said my classroom needs a theme. So I love, Charlie Brown and the Peanuts characters and stuff like that. So we're getting a new classroom this year. The new Vermilion Elementary School connects to the middle school. So, if you can find me on Facebook or whatever, I have a link on Amazon for just some classroom donations. That stuff can get kind of spendy sometimes. So if anybody would like to help out with that, my third graders and I would really appreciate it. But yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that.
Well, and I tell you what, for anyone listening, I will put a post on our Facebook page for 101.5 FM 1570. I'll find that link and I'll put that up there as well if you're okay with that.
That would be awesome. I really appreciate it. Anything helps.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Well, Coach, I look forward to covering you guys as long as you guys are playing in Lennox. That's what I tell people. I know I have obligations Wednesday and Thursday. I'm planning on obligations Friday and Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it. But I will be up there for every game. And thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and best of luck this week.
All right, thank you, Michael. Yeah, I hope to see you next few days up in Lennox.
That'll be great. Thanks so much. You have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. That was Vermilion Post 1 coach Tom Heisinger here on At the Mic with Michael Schumacher, brought to you by JR's Oasis. More than a fuel station, more than a convenience store, it's your one-stop travel shop. We'll be back with more after this on ESPN Radio, 101.5 FM, 1570 AM, KVTK, Vermilion, and Yankton.